Ms. Kennedy Weekly, programming, wishes to speak to the board about programming.
Hello and good evening. My name is Kennedy Weekly and I attend Stout Middle School. I am in 7th grade. I am new to Stout Middle School and the whole Dearborn Schools District. These past 2 months have been the greatest months of my life, especially theater. I have excelled in school and with our director's support. I have also been taken into a family that nobody can break apart. Everybody is included. The director identifies us or sees us for our own talents or special skills. It is amazing how these people just become a part of your life so quickly. Words cannot describe how beneficial this program is. We have our fun, but in the end, it's all about building our trust, our social skills, and our love for one another. It is a shame to see what is going on with Stout Theater at the moment and struggles. Yes, our director has decided to come back to volunteer, but this doesn't take away from the fact that this happened in the first place. With everybody's support, we will make it what it once was. This is a family. No one can take this away from us. We have gone through the struggles, but now we are the most powerful, unified, and unbreakable. We are all in this together.
Next, we have Mr. Jamil Baksh.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Jamil Baksh, and I was the founding vice president at Stout Theater. I'm now a junior and still come back to assist. One thing that always stood out to me about Stout Theater Company was its inclusion and community. There was a moment after a show that I'll forever cherish, and there was actually a picture taken of this moment. The picture was of my entire family, Arab, Black, White, Indian, Muslim, ages 12 to 79, my divorced parents, my little cousin with learning and social disabilities. This picture was so profound to me because everyone, and I mean everyone, had a genuine smile on their face. My point of this story is that everyone felt welcome and included, and the same goes for the stage at Stout. All races, colors, and creed are accepted and welcomed. Moreover, many middle and elementary schools are represented on the Stout stage. Losing this program would be a loss to the entire community. That being said, it was our director's choice to resign. I also know a recent blog post said he was returning. But Beydoun is the single most dedicated man I have ever met, and I know that he would never, ever, ever willingly step down. That's why I'm urging Dr. Maleko, the entire school board, and administration to start conversation to make sure that they will never let this happen again, because it's a loss we can't afford to have again. I'm looking at this poster right here. It says, "We'll go any length to support Dearborn Public Schools." Please go that length. Also, I'd like to take a moment to recognize everyone who is here on behalf of Stout or our director. Can you guys please stand up, please? This is community, and this is the impact of Stout Theater. Thank you. I'd also like to leave Dr. Maleko, the school board, the administration, parents, students, and frankly everyone with this question, which is also Stout Theater's motto. What role will you play? Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Khalil Al-Saghi, who wishes to speak to the board about celebrating success.
Good evening.
Good evening.
When some of our students are accepted into Ivy League universities, we all take pride of their accomplishments and wish them the best in their journeys. When one or more of our schools are nationally recognized for their accomplishments, such as the case with Becker Elementary and STEM middle schools that received the National Blue Ribbon Awards, we're all elated and happy, and we wear their ribbons with pride. Every accomplishment, success, and milestone our students and schools reach should be regarded as a token of pride for all of us. In the same token, as parents, we are just as proud of our daughters' academic success in math, science, ELA, social studies, as we are of their engagement in the arts, be it in music, performing arts, dance, paintings, and other forms of design and artistic activities. From a whole child development perspective, we strongly believe that developing our kids' artistic intelligence is directly related to the development of their all other intelligences. This is why we're here tonight, to emphasize the significance of not only protecting the arts at Dearborn Public Schools, but to put it at par with all other content areas in which our students are assessed and for which our schools are held accountable. We're here to express our concerns about the way success is being treated as a threat, and accomplishments are denigrated and disparaged. We're here to defend a token of pride, namely the Stout Theater Company, against a campaign that seeks to destroy it. The charge that STC taken away students from other programs at different schools is preposterous. Instead of strengthening the weak by weakening the strong, we need to build on the STC success, not destroy it. We need to invest in this marvelous endeavor, not threaten it and subject it to continuous witch hunt campaign. And we need to model this success throughout the district. Thus, with great hope, we call upon the DPS administration and the board to do the right thing for our students by supporting and investing in the arts in every one of our schools, and to give the Stout Theater Company its due respect and appreciation. Thank you.
Ms. Sarah Barakat wishes to speak about community in the district.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Barakat. I am a 10th grader at Edsel Ford High School. I started Stout Theater in 7th grade, and it's helped me a lot. I would not be able to talk to you at all if it wasn't for our director. I watched Schoolhouse Rock, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I thought theater was for nerds. I mean, now I'm a nerd, so. I love theater, and he's helped me with my love for theater so much. I read, I write a bunch of things that I don't need to be writing about. But he's given me a gift I can't give back because I love it so much. He's given me my start, and I don't want to end. He gave me my confidence, and I now can speak for all of us when I say we appreciate it. He taught me that anything is possible. I was a Mersister and I'm a Scarfie. I mean, if you watch The Little Mermaid, you don't see any Scarfies in there. I didn't think I would get it, but I did. And it was because of him, because he believed in me. And I need you to help us to believe in him, because he gave us all this confidence and this gift. Please. Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Jenny Weekly. Who wishes to speak to the board about harassment and bullying.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I spent hours and hours writing a statement for tonight, and obviously we have had a change in some of what we came to talk about. If it's okay with you, I'd still like to read the statement because my ask of you will be the same at the end. I am the proud parent of a 7th grader at Stout and secretary of the PTA. As she mentioned when she was up here, we have quickly become a part of this STC family. We are new to the area. I have a long history of community organizing, certification with the Academy for Competent Youth Work, and have done a lot of youth development in my time, which I only mention to say I understand the impact of positive programming and all the psychological effects of that with youth. For about a decade, I have assisted organizations with the implementation of the ACT framework, which is widely known, especially in Metro Detroit, and it stands for Achieve, Connect, and Thrive. And these are the necessary components for any healthy young person. I was going to tell you a little bit about my family history, my daughter's academic history. We have attended a few schools, charter, public, none of them successfully. For a short amount of time, were at a school where she was at least happy, and that was because of the arts program, participating in drama and things like that. She's always been a straight A student, so that was never the issue. She's been promoted a grade. I never had to worry about that, but I worried about her happiness. So we just moved to Dearborn, and even though we live just a mile away from Stout, I still did my research on all the schools, public and charter, connected with families from all across the district, and what we heard was Stout had a theater company that we had to participate in. So that's the school that we chose. She continued to be a good student, which is important to me, but for the first time, all of her needs were being met. She was achieving academically, connecting socially, becoming a part of this family, and thriving as a young person. And this is, again, a very important part of her development. As you can imagine, we were devastated to learn that our director had stepped down, and although we are new and I don't know all of the details to this, I have heard from parents, staff members in the district, teachers, support staff, etc., that there was a lot of harassment and bullying that happened over this program. I've heard a lot of the negative comments that have come from the high school, that there was a lot of jealousy of the success of this program because of the students' happiness and the fact that they come back and participate. So that's why I put harassment and bullying on my card as something that I want to talk about today. I was going to ask of you that you will hopefully acknowledge that some sort of wrong was done, because we know that this director would not have stepped down if it was not something he felt he had to do. And that was the statement that was given to the families. It was not that he had a death in the family, a personal crisis, anything like that. It was a decision that he felt he had to make because of the situation going on. And I think that's really important as the people overseeing the district. I was going to ask for your support of the STC family as they fight to restore this community that they built. And although we're new to it, we're happy to be a part of. And to encourage those in positions of power, such as yourselves, HR, things like that, to find out more, to ask those questions. Why did that step down happen to begin with? There's 2 people that oversee that program. Both were affected by this harassment or this bullying, right? So even though things have changed, and that was most of what I wanted to talk to you about, that question stays the same. If we have our director back, that's fantastic. But are we going to be in the same place in a couple months if nothing else changes? So that's what we're asking of you tonight, is that we dig deeper, that we find out what happened to ensure that it doesn't happen to our director or any other staff member or volunteer in the district. I just have to share a very quick story that our director shared with me about family and joining STC. We talked about academics because during the week before the program that happened in November, I saw a little bit of slide with my daughter, and it wasn't okay. And sure, she was still a 4.0, but she wasn't getting things in on time. And it was because she was so excited about theater. And we talked about it, and there are tutors available there on Tuesdays and Thursdays to help students. You never get kicked out of theater if you're not succeeding academically, but you sit down and you study, and you're provided people to help you with that. And I think that's really important, and we talked about it with a drunk uncle, right? Most families have one, and when you have that drunk uncle that has that problem, they're not kicked out of the family. You address it, you take care of it, and you continue to embrace them to get them better. And that's what they do academically as well. So I want to say that that's really important about the theater company. So I just hope that you know that we are here to support you as you look into this, that you have the backing of this entire room of people. There's a lot of power in the people, and the people want their director. So thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Zainab Al-Hashimi, who would like to speak to the board about concerns.
Good evening, Board, President Lane, Superintendent Maliko. My name is Zainab Al-Hashimi. I am one of the founding board members of the Stout Theater Company and a junior at Fortson High School. My 7th grade year, I transferred to Stout from a charter school. I had no friends, and the transition proved especially difficult. I spent pretty much the entire first semester angry, confused, and feeling incredibly, incredibly alone. I absolutely hated being there, and my attendance and academic performance reflected it. It was only until January or February of 2015 that this began to change. I was approached and asked to join the Stout Theater Company. Reluctant but curious, I attended my first rehearsal and was immediately welcomed with open arms. Individuals I had never met before instantly began approaching me, including me in their activities as if I had known them for years. That feeling of being included, that my presence was valuable, was quite frankly intoxicating. In a school I labeled paper frail and empty, I found a home. In my cast and crew, I found a second family. So naturally, 8th grade year rolled around and I immediately applied for an executive board position because I felt a sense of community unlike any other. I moved on to high school and once again found myself in need. Without a vibrant theater program at my high school, I yearned for that inclusive, safe space again, where strangers became family in the shadow of stage lights. So much so that I remained involved. In my capacity as a stage manager, a producer, and frankly, an honorary drama mama. Thank you. I created props, painted sets, sent out rehearsal schedules, created tickets and programs, and attended almost every single rehearsal in the last 5 years. However, given my unique capacity, I have also witnessed some rather disturbing happenings. It appears as though there is a controversy every show, as if there is an effort to hinder the Stout Theater Company and its very existence. And this packed room is evidence of that very sentiment. As a student of this district, I'm deeply concerned. How is it that an entirely volunteer-based organization who doesn't say no or turn down anybody, an organization with numerous accolades granted by Congress, state reps, the mayor, and so many other groups and individuals, remains without protections? Mr. Oak has been a fervent supporter of the Stout Theater Company. He attends all of our shows, helps out wherever is needed, and is incredibly accessible and visible. As you kindly mentioned, President Lane, we have read the blog.
I'm President Petlichkov.
Oh, forgive me.
That's okay.
President Petlichkov. We have read the blog, and the SDC mantra is, what role will you play? So I ask of you today, what role are you going to play to ensure that securities are in place so the work of my peers, the parents, students, teachers, and volunteers, hard work does not go in vain? The district runs on the ideal of students first. So as a student, I urge you, do not stand idly by. Help us preserve the Stout Theater Company. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Habib Abbas, who will be speaking to the board about concerns with Dearborn School's program theater. Okay. All right, Hiba Dager is our next speaker. Is she still here? Okay, then we had 2 cards from her. Jana Kubaisi, who is going to speak about her STC experience.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Maliko. My name is Jenna Kobesi, and I am one of the founding members of Stout Theater Company. And when asking a high schooler about their experience in middle school, you'll find that most of the time they're talking about how much they wish they could forget it. When I think about my experience in middle school, I find myself wishing that I could go back. And no, it isn't because my middle school years weren't embarrassing just like everyone else's. It's because I found a place where I could express myself and build friendships and forget about all the pressure that came with transitioning from elementary to middle school. This place was the Stout Theater Company. Stout Theater wasn't just your typical drama club. Yeah, you sang and danced and put on a show, but Stout Theater isn't just about putting on a show. Stout Theater isn't just about theater. It's about building relationships and learning social skills. The life skills I gained from Stout Theater were skills I would have never gained anywhere else at that age. My director taught me independence and how to take initiative. Stout Theater impacted my life so greatly in my middle school years that I kept coming back even after I moved on to high school. Not because I felt like I had to, but because I wanted to. Because I knew that being in that environment would do nothing but benefit me and help me to learn even more skills to prepare me for the future. When looking back at all the lessons SDC and its director taught me, and the person I was inspired to be because of it, I can't even imagine leaving Stout without having been a part of that program. It built me into the person I am today and taught me that anything is possible through hard work. Every student should be given the same opportunity, every student should be given the opportunity to share the same experiences I had, to have the same mentors that I had, and to learn the same lessons that I have. And those students will not have those same opportunities without STC and its rightful and amazing director. And knowing this director, he was never one to just quit. And the fact that he has taken a leave of absence speaks volumes when it comes to the severity of the situation. He has never given up on us. And as you can see by all of the people behind me, we are not giving up on him. Yes, as was mentioned multiple times at this meeting, a blog post has stated that it was his decision to leave. Yes, as was mentioned multiple times this meeting, a blog post said that he will be returning. But what will he be returning to? A new and improved environment for the community to enjoy? Or the same wrong that has been trying to drive our family apart for too long? Well, that's up to you. Let me conclude by saying this is your responsibility, and we are a small group of many who are watching. We've done our part. It's time for a change, and it's time to put the students first. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Ayman Salha, who will speak about inconvenience to Stout Middle School.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ayman Salha, and I'm a 9th grader at Etzel Ford High School. Stout Theater Company is exactly what it says it is, a company. We are not just another after-school club. And yes, I said we. Although I am a 9th grader, I still believe I am part of this wonderful family. In fact, we all do. Through the years, we have built close bonds with everyone who has been part of STC. From Charlotte Monroe in 3rd grade to Hilal and Latifa in their freshman year of college.
but the strongest bond I have created has been with my director. He has been there for me since I stepped into Stout Middle School. Just like anyone else, I personally have had my ups and downs. And guess who was there? My director. And don't just take it from me. Take it from everyone you see here today and all the hundreds of students who could not make it tonight. What I am saying is taking Mr. Beydoun away from theater wasn't only a disservice to him, but it was a disservice to the students. And this affected the students more than it affected my director himself. Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Hiba Al-Basrawi, who will speak to the board about how STC changed her.
Good evening. I know, Dr. Maleki, you're well aware of who I am, and I just want to tell you my story. I came to Stout my 6th grade year. I had no personality. I wasn't able to talk to people. I had a group of friends, and it wasn't really healthy for me. Stand and Deliver was my first show at Stout as a 6th grader. And it helped me be stronger. It helped me shine. It helped me be able to talk to people. And our director, we never said no to him. We always did as he wanted. Thank you. We always did as he wanted, and it always made us better. Aladdin, as Jafar, made me connect with people in ways I never thought I could connect with people. Aladdin made me who I am right now. Aladdin helped me shine. Everyone knew who I was, whether they liked it or not. I was in the school. They knew who I was. If it weren't for Aladdin, if it weren't for our director, I wouldn't be able to stand here. I wouldn't be able to represent our school in SEDSEC with Dr. Chokal. I wouldn't be able to voice my opinion. When I heard this news, the first thing that came to my mind was, is my life going to fall apart? And I know it sounds funny, but I say that because theater was my escape. If I was mad, if I got annoyed from a student that day, I would go on that stage and I would make sure everyone in that house knew I was mad. Those 600 and some seats, that person all the way in the back would know, would be well aware that I was mad. I'm well aware that Mr. Beydoun is back. But what I ask of you is, are you gonna let this happen again? Because we won't. They might knock us down. We will get back up. Theater is our home. The auditorium is our home. And the stage is our outlet. Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Rubana Reem Taki.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rubana Reem Fiki, a member of STC. I am here this evening to tell you what does STC really mean to us. It's really crucial for all of you to know that STC is not only about teaching students about theater and to stand in front of a crowd. STC is a lot more than that. STC taught us how to trust ourselves and how to be confident. It also taught us how to go after what we want and how to never give up. Yet, more importantly, STC taught us how to stand together and how to trust each other. It taught us how to dream and dream big. And it taught us how to pursue that dream and believe in our heart, we will achieve. I'm sure all of you are saying, wow, that is great. It is crucial and important to our students' development. This is helping our students grow and be ready for the outside world. But you may not have thought about the person that was, is, and will always be behind of this. STC would not have existed and would not have made such a difference with the efforts of our current STC director. He is the reason behind all of this success. He pushed us to be the students we are today. He was the one that spent countless hours teaching us, pushing us, encouraging us, and believing in us. He was always there when we needed someone to help. He was always there when we needed someone to guide and someone to listen. I, and with no doubt, believe that he has changed many lives, including mine. He is truly a very big inspiration to every single person that comes in contact with. From the first time that I have met him, I have always truly valued him. He has always given me great advice when I needed it, even if he did not know he was. He is very good example and a role model. I am not here today because I have to be, but I am here because I want to be. It just feels right to be here. He always taught us that we need to stand for what is right, no matter what. And here we are, following his teachings. We are all here to share the truth and to stand for what is right. Thank you.
Last, we have a blue card submitted by Ms. Ghinwa Karkaba. She did not wish to speak to the board, but she did attach a comment that would be included in the minutes.
Trustee Barry.
As the students were speaking to us, and they did a tremendous job, I was focused on a certain individual in the crowd. And I know he was trying to keep a poker face, but I can feel the pride on his face. So I thank that person for the environment that he creates for these students to grow. These were some tremendous actors, but I can tell you they were not acting tonight. This was real. Like Dr. Maleko and most of my colleagues, we did attend a lot of these shows, but I can tell you that I actually sat in the auditorium during some of the practices. There is one story that we all heard tonight that's not going to leave us anytime soon. And I can tell you that wasn't the first time I heard this story, so that story is real. Without getting too far into this, and I know I don't want to, the only thing I'm going to ask Dr. Maleko is, STC obviously is very important to you, to all of us here, to everybody in this room, but when the news came out before the break, I, like many of my colleagues, received a lot of phone calls. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Obviously, we couldn't share what little we knew. But there were some parents, there were some employees, allegedly was telling me things that I didn't make any comments on for obvious reasons. But because of that, I would like to ask for a report for the last 3 years of any complaints that came out of because of the STC Stout Theater Company that came to the building or came to the district, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chair. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm done. Thank you.
Trustee Mood.
I want to first say, I myself found my voice in theater when I was in high school. And as someone who had, come to the country as an immigrant in middle school, it was really theater that I found my family and the family that accepted me. In fact, some of my theater friends from middle school are still the friends that I have today. I think I am a better attorney today because of my theater family. And it is so comforting to hear so many stories of students who just, you can see them just gleaming with pride and using their voice and projecting their advocacy about what they have learned and what they believe in. And I think that is, I commend you for that, and that was truly inspiring to hear. I think it is so important that this family continues to grow. And I think that every single one of us here acknowledges that. And we want to, honestly, sitting here, I want to be, a part of this family. I kind of wished that my theater, as awesome as it was a little bit like your theater, right? And so I truly believe that in order for this family to grow, hopefully we can find ways to keep on growing in a healthy, secure, safe environment, every single one of us. So I want to thank all of you. This is totally unrelated, but I did at the University of Michigan learn from your director a couple of Michael Jackson moves that I still carry with me until today. So. I will not be performing tonight, but maybe at a show.
Trustee Lane?
So one thing that someone said bothered me, and it's been rolling around in my head, so I would like to comment on that. It's something that I said myself many years ago, and that remark was, "I know I'm just a kid." So I would like to say to the students that you never say that with embarrassment. That's the reason that we exist. And it's like a citizen in a democracy saying, "I'm just a citizen." Citizen is the highest title in a democracy, and that includes presidents or whatever. Even a president is only a citizen who temporarily holds office. All of us as a board know that we're here temporarily. So I would like to say that kid or student is the highest title in a school district. And I believe this district and Dr. Maleko and this board honor that vision. So I think kid is a great title. So it should not be used disparagingly.
Trustee Thor?
Students, you did a wonderful job tonight representing what you're standing for with the Stout Theater Company. And I hope that this is used as an example for all the other programs that happen at middle school and elementary school that we feed up to the high schools and then graduate, is that it's not all about the things we have to test for, but it's these other programs that make it all part of the whole picture. So thank you and good job today.
Trustee Hamud? Did you hear?
Well, I just wanted to put onto the record that we did receive a blue card that we're just going to include in the minutes. They're not going to be speaking. I just wanted to put the name. I can't read the last name the way it's written, but correct me please if I'm wrong. I believe it says Ava White. That's correct. Is that White? Yeah. Okay. And Ms. Ava White wanted, just submitted a blue card, and then it stated that Stout Theater lifts marginalized voices within our diverse community, which is why we need your support. Thank you.
All right, it's my understanding that Senator Santana has joined the audience and would like to come up to make a quick comment, so we'll take away the blue card requirement at this time.
Good evening, everyone, Dearborn School Board, as well as all these wonderful students who are part of the Stout Theater. club. I definitely want to just say I am hearing your concerns as a state senator who is advocating every day for education in the state of Michigan. And it's programs like this that actually allow for the students to have that voice, to have that outlet, to be able to mirror this with their academic studies. And so we definitely want to make sure that we continue to fund programs like this and make sure that we advocate for our students. And I am just elated by all the students here today who are making their voices heard on behalf of their director of their program. And definitely we want to make sure that they continue to have their voices heard at the state level. So thank you all for allowing me an opportunity to speak. I look forward to coming to your meetings moving forward and being a voice for you at the state level. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee McDonald?
I just want to add a couple of quick comments. Again, the students did a marvelous job of letting their feelings be known and with passion. And I thank them for coming here and sharing their thoughts. But I also think not only do you learn so much from your director and you find your voice, but I just hope you were able to come and bring your voice to us tonight. And I hope you continue that as your role of citizen, as you grow, when it's time for you to vote, when it is time for you to get engaged in your community. I want you to continue finding that voice, and I know your director is a part of the reason why you found it. Just hang on to it, because it's important. That's all.
Dr. Maleko?
So I'd just like to add, I want to commend the students and tell you that I'm proud of you, that you're here voicing what you believe in. It was a fantastic display, and you did a wonderful job, and I am proud that you're willing to do that and exercise your civic duty, as Trustee Lane had mentioned. And I think it's another display of, you know, when we talk about narrowing the curriculum and other things, when some of the federal legislation on standards has, as the board members here, going back to maybe 2002 and No Child Left Behind, is that there has been that push for, you know, those high stakes testing all over, which again, we welcome accountability, but this is a perfect example of not everything can be measured. And what I heard from the students was it was about relationships that they've developed with each other and with their mentors or their teachers or their director. And I've said this at Teacher of the Year events in front of the teachers, saying you can't measure those relationships and that positive impact that individuals had. I think I've said it at graduation ceremonies as well. I think the greatest thing for an educator is when you see the success of your students, and these students are obviously en route. They are successful and en route to success. And so I just think it's another important message that, you know, those students are not necessarily going to remember all the curriculum and the science and the math per se. I know what it was like for when I went to high school, but I do remember those teachers that had a positive impact, or those mentors. So again, I'm proud of them and I commend you. And I also want to mention that because of the work of the Stout program, we've had some discussions with administration as to how we could possibly look at, and board members as well, of maybe getting this into other middle schools, similar programs, because it's had a positive impact as it feeds students that go into the high school, and the high schools have asked. So again, we all know there was times of real tough budget cuts, let's just be honest, that we had to cut, and you didn't cut from the language arts and the math during those tough times, because that was the area that was the focus, and that was what the law and the federal government were moving on. Having said that, I'm proud in Dearborn, though, we've hung on to that, and we have a strong arts program. We had the the empty bowls earlier, and we're going to continue. We are very supportive of the arts, and whenever we can, I think Trustee Barry said we've been at as many as we can go to, because we're proud of the students and the work that they're doing in the performing arts and all the other areas, the intangibles that make a difference for students. Thank you.
Trustee Barry?
Just real quick, like Trustee Lane said, I mean, students are the reason we're here. But I am also thankful to the parents for standing with their children and supporting them at a time where they feel if you would have let your children down today, it would have probably affected them the rest of their life. So thank you. Thank you very much.
I just really enjoyed all of the students coming forward and talking about the theater. It's a real testimonial to the theater and what it does for children. I have 4 grown children, and all of them went through the theater. And I have 5 grandchildren who are also in the theater. And I understand teamwork comes from this. I also understand people get tremendous confidence and poise. And I saw poise tonight. And I just love it. So you got the support of the board, you know you do, for this kind of activity because it results in real student growth. So thanks for presenting tonight. Very nice.
And as the final word, I just want to say thank you also to the students, but quite frankly, every one of our students succeeds when we succeed in building a whole person. And that whole person experience doesn't come from just the ABCs of their rigor of a day, but in creating experiences for them that expose them to a variety of interactions that are going to support you as adults in life in the future. So we will always support any opportunity for students, be it the arts, sports, any extracurricular activities that will provide those enrichments that will make you the community member that we all know are going to contribute as a viable human being in this community. So quite frankly, you will never see us turn our backs on you, and that's our reason for being here, and we will always support and listen to your concerns, and you will have to have some trust in us as well, because what I heard a lot from you is that you're unsure of what we are going to do moving forward. And we only have the best interests of our students and our school community at heart. We have no intention of creating any damage, but we can't always explain all of the decisions that we make. There is some inability to be completely transparent when it comes to individual people. And so for that, you are going to have to rely upon those that you elect in order to serve you best. And I hope that we can do that moving forward. Thank you.